Hello and welcome to a beautiful day in Wicklow. I am down at my favourite spot of all. Look at where I am. Beautiful river and loads of gold. I'll show you a picture in just a second of the clean out of my snuffer bottle from 2 days here. I think it was about 0.21 a gram. Yeah, that's some nice chunky gold. So what I've gone and done today, there isn't enough water flow at the moment to be able to run the sluice box. So what I've gone and done is I brought the Gold Magic 4000 and I put another screen on top of it. So what I've gone and done is taken a classifier and I put a little ramp on it, and all the rocks are hopefully going to wash off. So again, as before, we have camera 1, camera 2, and of course we have camera 3. Now camera 3 is the Samsung. The quality isn't the best, but hey, isn't it nice to get multiple angles from different positions? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start lashing through this. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to pack up rocks, but hey, let's just give it a go. In terms of where I'm working, there's a section of bedrock here, and as I'm working, I'm slowly exposing the bedrock. I'll show you close up of that in a second. That's nice. I'm cleaning off pure bedrock there. It seems to be working. Tough old material to get through. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you camera 2 just to give a close up of how that works. So this is the setup here. So very simple. It's a classifier. I got this one in Mr. Price, cheap one. So I'm hoping the rocks will fall off the end here. Gold Magic 4000, just one pipe and one pipe. There's some big rocks in there to hold it all together. So that's it. It's as simple as that. Try and work my way down the bedrock wall. I was watching a TV program lately and I learned about working down a bedrock wall. While I'm sitting there watching, I'm thinking and going, that's very similar to the ground I'm working. So just thought I'd give you a different angle on things and how it works. And you'll see it from this side, and then obviously you've got camera 3 and of course camera 2. This is great fun. It's really complicated editing it afterwards, but I enjoy it. I love the editing process. Let me know in the comments below if you like this particular style of just multiple cameras. 1, 3 and 2. Right, gotta work this material through so you can see it from this side. You'll often see me double drawn, and that's where I'm trying to get a full sucker load. My goal today is to run approximately 1,000 draws, which was the equivalent of 12 5-gallon buckets sluice. And as what I know a lot of people previously would misunderstand what the Gold Magic 4000 is, it is not just a classifier, it actually catches gold. I'm going to actually try to put a bit of miner's moss in the bottom of the bucket in the future, just to see does that make a difference in the terms of catching gold, but it always catches gold. As far as I can see, bedrock is there, bedrock is there. I've been working this little channel in between here. I'm working my way down towards the boulder. But if I'm sucker tubing on the boulder, either way I'm bringing it down and finding all the walls. My point would be somewhere around here, drop down, and that's where the big gold is going to be. Well, that's what I suspect it to be. So you can see where the rocks are piling up and they're not really falling off correctly. It could just simply be there's not enough drop. I have a piece of wood under there to try and help it. So now I'm going to do is put a rock under there just to try and put a bit more tension on it. Also a bit more tension on this, just so I can actually work. If it is working to a degree, again, it's like anything else, trial and error, you just try it out and see what happens. So that's the plan. I'm just going to crack on with that. The difference is I don't have to fill a bucket, walk to a sluice box, feed it out after classifying. I do everything in one motion. I pick up gravel, I put it in the hopper, or the screen, whatever you want to call it, and then it processes material all in one go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack on. I might put camera into freeze frame mode. So now that we know what we're doing and we're ready to go, the time has come to, let's go find the shiny. Right, so I've managed to run about 200 draws through the sucker tube into the system. So this is where we're working. We've got a nice full load. I'm going to draw it a few times. We get it full. Okay, that's that done. So the pan was nice and clean beforehand, nothing in it, rinse it out. Well and good. Nice lumps of quartz, but no giant nuggets. Grand, happy days. Haven't got a whole lot of time. I do have a headlamp on me and I have another light I'm going to strap to the tree in case we find good gold that I can keep going into the darkness. Because I'm always in a rush to get out of here before too dark. So, right, let's have a look. That looks nice, dark material. So if you've ever seen in my videos, out of pan, all we're doing is just mix in everything together, bring it to the front, and wash the riffles out. Now on any of my courses I always teach people wash the front riffle, because the riffles I have on the pans for tours, they always have like 6 riffles. This only has 2, so just wash. And again, we know the gravel is gonna, and the gold is gonna be back here. Again, very nice and gently, don't be too aggressive about it. Just spin around under the water, bring everything in the front, tip out all the water, put it under the water, and then just pull out the water. Under the water, pull out the water. It's the act of not pushing in, it's the act of in the water and pull out. That's the act that actually moves stuff around. Again, working on down a bit. With this pan you have to be a little bit more vigorous to move everything around. Nice and gentle. And again, I don't salt, so I don't know what's going to be in this pan. If there's something nice in this pan, happy days. Really, I just wanted to test that system to see how it would work. So I'm going to come up here as a little bit more light. Push everything in the corner. My hand stays perfect still, bump off the side. And hopefully, yay, we're in the gold. Happy days. Like that. It's only one piece, but try and get it into a bit of darkness so you can see properly. Ah, there we go. I can see that on the screen, so I know you can see it. Happy days. So that's not a whole lot of gold in the particular test pan, but look, it's one piece of gold, and we only ran, what, 2 or 3 sucker draws. I've run out about 100 so far through the Gold Magic 4000. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to using the green classifier, because what was happening was the other one wasn't, a lot of the material was getting lost, so just going to use that for the time being. Blasting through as much as I possibly can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep working down through that material, and as soon as it gets to the point that it's starting to get dark, then I'll do a clean out, see where we're at. If it's a really nice gold, I do have a couple of lamps with me I can strap to the tree, and we just keep going through at night time, because if there's a good gold, why leave? Anyway, that's the point. Yeah, just crack along with it. Let's go find the shiny. Okay, so it's about 20 minutes before sunset, and what we're going to do now is we're going to clean out the buckets. I'm going to clean out the bottom one first. So what I'll do is I'll just take it out of the way. I have got some heavy rocks in there, just so it didn't float away initially while we were filling it up. What I'm going to do is very gently put some gravel in. There is already one piece of gold in there from earlier on. So if we only find one piece, then we know that it's from our test pan earlier. Set this aside. I'll wash this rock off in just a second. And I get down into here again. I'm going to wash off this rock, and we're going to fly through this. Make sure I'm over the riffles. Right, that'll do for now. So I'll do is I'll tip out the water. Right, so that's the material worked somewhat down. Let's get the rest of that material into the bucket. Nice big rock, trying to break the pan. You want to make sure the bucket's thoroughly clean. Again, we'll wash off these rocks so that no gold gets stuck to it. Just going to move this big rock in the way here. There we go. So, what I want to do is probably a bit too much in the pan, but see the way as I'm bouncing it, the material's falling forward. You don't want that. You tilt it backwards so everything falls back in. How you know you're doing it right is you have this little button at the back. Swirl it towards the back so everything falls back into place. And again, this is the bottom bucket. Typically there'll be about 30% of the gold to be in here. Perfect. So just come upstream where there's a bit more light. So just while we have a bit more light, this is the bottom bucket. So there was already one tiny piece in there. Let's see what's in this one here. Nice. I'm liking that. 1, 2, 3. A few nice pieces there. Remember, there was already one piece in there. So we got 1, 2, 3. At least 3 pieces in there. Perfect. Great stuff. So to save on time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump that material into the bucket that's just there, and then I'll pick up the gold out of it later on. What Right, you can see that pan is nice and clean now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the bottom bucket. This is typically where the majority of the gold is going to be. So I'll put a bit of water in the pan first of all. Park her on the ground. And we're going to wash off these rocks just so any gold that might be stuck to it with some clay, we get to keep it. Cool. And again, we're going to give that bucket a good rinse. It also means the next time we had anything left over, it doesn't cross-contaminate for the next place we visit. Okay, here we go. Again, we're tilting forward. Look, stuff falls out until they're back. Everything falls back into the center. That's what you want. Bring it to the front. 1, 2. Bring everything back. 1, 2. Bring it to the front. Everything back. 1, 2. And we can slow it down a bit because we have a lot less material, so a little more gentle. Perfect, okay. So again, we'll go up to where the light is. Not that there's much light left, but this is better. Right, park everything in the corner. I don't salt, I have no idea what's in here. We're on good ground. But let's see what's in this bucket. Okay, we've got gold. We've got gold, not as much as I was expecting. Something's going around there. There's a nice piece of gold. Yeah, so one piece of gold, larger piece of gold. I think initially when I was running it, I just didn't have it working right. Things were sitting at a bit of a bad angle because I was trying to try out that other screen deck system, but sure, that's life. It's also a case of where we're working bedrock that's been worked before, so it's chance there wasn't any real proper gold to begin with. Okay, I'll snuffer that up in just a second. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode of prospecting with the Gold Magic 4000 with the screen deck system. Again, like anything else, you just have to test it and test and test and then see what works. So, didn't find an awful lot of gold, but I found some gold. Some gold better than no gold. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget the subscribe button, and sure, catch you next week. We can all go find more shiny. Bye bye.